You blew it up! Oh, damn you! God damn you all to hell!
Hello, welcome back. I have a few topics to talk about today. I was going to talk about Cocaine Bear, saw that today. And this weekend I went by Pensa-Conned, so I was going to share my memories of that. That was a little something to be, left to be desired, but we'll get into that in a moment. Let me bring on my co-host here.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie. Donnie, shut the fuck up. When do we play? Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Actually, I don't want you to shut the F up. I hope you have some thoughts.
I just assume if that's my intro, I assume I'm the one saying it, and which kind of makes sense. I do tell people to shut up. I do yell. It's fine. I think it works.
It's actually, that wasn't the one I wanted for you, but that's okay.
There was this one. All right. So have you seen the movie Midnight Madness?
I don't think I have.
Wait, I might not even be thinking of the right movie. Anyway, I have a movie downstairs, and I don't remember the name of it. I have to figure it out now, and I'll get back to you. But in the opening, like there's like this fat guy, and it's like this like typical like 70s, 80s style like college humor type movie. And this fucking fat guy, he's like sitting in his car and he's ordering food. So the chick comes out in the roller skates and puts the food on the car, and then something happens and he ends up getting mad and yelling at everybody and then slamming the food down, and it's also I think he's like shoving his face at the same time. So I was just like, somehow or other that probably works for me as an intro, but I was like, I can't play it myself because I was like, there's nothing worse than like self-loathing or any self-deprecating bullshit.
Note to self. I love Big Lebowski. I thought that was probably one of John Goodman's like greatest performances.
Here's the thing, right? So I was like, John Goodman, I thought was phenomenal in it. Mm-hmm. Jeff Bridges, I thought was, he played Jeff Bridges, like he was good. Yeah. I don't hate Jeff Bridges and anything he does. However, the way people like praise Big Lebowski, I don't understand. Like, they've made an entire religion out of it.
Yeah, it really is worshipped. That really happens with a lot of those little culty kind of movies,
it grows into nonsense because I think like people that never fucking cared about it all of a sudden want to be part of it, and then it becomes like weird. Yeah. Like there's like people that wear the robe and stuff, and like it's a religion or something. I know they did the Jedi religion, but they did like the dude.
The dude religion. Yeah, the dude abides. Yeah.
Yeah, some craziness. And so it's fine. It's fine. Do your thing. But I said I remember when that movie wasn't that popular.
Mm-hmm. So like when it came out and it was released, nobody saw it.
It's definitely not one of my favorites. I do love John Goodman in it, though. I do think he's great.
Yeah. He's by far the best. And then poor why can't I think of his name? The dude from Boardwalk Empire with the crazy teeth. Buscemi.
Buscemi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like a hapless buffoon in there. But he tries to be nice, and every time he just gets it from John Goodman, like, shut the fuck up, Donnie. You're out of your element. So oh my God. I was supposed to go on Friday, right? My stream at Pensa-Conned.
Oh yeah. How'd that work out? Obviously you didn't stream, but I mean, how did the Pensa-Conned work out for you?
Worst convention I've ever been to in my life. Okay. Now, to be fair, I haven't really gone to too many, I guess, like lower tier cons. I've been to MegaCon several times because I used to live in Daytona. That was like a hop, skip, and a jump over there. And so I went to that a lot. So I'm coming from that experience. And then in 2010, I was lucky enough to go to San Diego Comic-Con before that completely, turned into a toilet dive, I guess. So I'm coming from that kind of mindset.
Do you dress up when you go?
No. I might wear a T-shirt or something that says, you're
like, yeah, no,
I might wear a T-shirt.
I might put clothes on to go.
Do you dress up now? I wear a
T-shirt. I throw a T-shirt on. I put the girls away.
No, I know what you're saying. Like, no, I don't dress up like an animal.
Yeah, I don't know if you're doing like the cosplay though, because you're like, what do you like? You're like,
I'm a Doctor Who nerd. Well, I used to be.
The experience that I'm used to. I'm like, well, if you fucking dressed up once in a while, maybe you'd get some attention. Just saying. Yeah.
I did see a couple of furries though, so there was that.
Don't do that. I'm thinking like dress up like Megatron.
That would be kind of cool.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to even like go like how, because like all those broads, you know, put on like half naked clothes and stuff. Anybody with boobs could do that.
Well, okay.
Dress up like
A
Megatron.
guy with boobs. I don't know.
That's true too. But I'm saying you dress up like Megatron, and I'm telling you, all the boys will be checking you out. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And
like,
whatever
well,
the equivalent to robot furries.
You know, that's what it used to be. It used to be like a thing, obviously, like, because I remember back in the 90s, it was really coupled with the Star Wars prequels. But I remember back in the 90s when like people would go to conventions, they'd wait in line for movies, that type of stuff. They dress up. And those were your super fucking nerds. Like you had your regular people that liked that stuff, and they were fine. They weren't dressing up. But then you had like dudes that just dressed up, and you're just like, what the fuck? And you're like, that dude lives in his mom's basement and is never getting laid. But you understood that, and that was fine. And then, like at the conventions, like I remember seeing like reports about the conventions, like once in a blue moon, because it was way before the internet and that type of stuff. But it would be on the news, like San Diego Comic-Con, or sometimes like the E3 event. And then blue moon, you'd find a couple like sprinkled in, like your super nerds that dressed up. And then it became like a fucking thing. And then all of a sudden, like the girls rolled in that don't care about this stuff.
Yeah.
And they cosplay and they've made a living at it because the guys are like, oh my goodness. And then
like the e-thoughts or whatever.
Yeah,
they get on
it became like a thing. But originally it wasn't like that. Originally it was the people that really, really enjoyed it.
Well, I mean, I didn't dress up, but I definitely was mega nerd in terms of Doctor Who. Like when I was 12, I went to the 30th anniversary Doctor Who convention in Chicago, and I was just like, oh,
So I got it.
Yeah.
TARDIS. You cosplay as the TARDIS, and all the boys will
I don't
fucking
want
go.
people coming into me being like, coming up, oh, is she bigger on the inside than the outside? No. I don't want that.
Wait. So you're just afraid they're going to refer to you having as like a cavernous vag?
It's something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Is she bigger on the inside than the outside? I don't know. Hello.
Oh man, I was just trying to get like a sonic screwdriver joke in there, but then it's like cavernous vag energy.
Sonic dildo now? That's what it is.
Oh, sonic dildo.
That's
I don't even know what's going on.
Oh my god!
But
yeah, you had the screwdriver, and then they finally get a lady doctor, and then they make her sonic screwdriver look like a freaking sexual object. I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah, they do that shit on purpose because somewhere along the lines, one, they think it's funny, but two, they think they're being like they're putting it out there and they think they're getting it by, like people.
Oh yeah, like look how tongue in cheek we
are.
Right.
Aren't we clever?
No, it's like, no, you really
was that I saw that post and it was like that one. Is that real? Is that fucking real? The penis heads? Was that like a real Star Trek?
Matt Barr said that yes, those are the new Klingons, and I'm like, what?
I can't imagine he's being.
No,
real.
they're having a laugh. They're having a laugh at the fans.
But that's the thing, yeah. No, and that's what it is. Like, there's no way, shape, or form that is one enjoyable, but two, like you're like, oh, look at what we did. They made them penis heads.
and it is. I mean, okay, let me not get too graphic, but I mean, it's a freaking mushroom tip head. Like, come on.
How is that not?
Yep, sorry.
Jesus. All you have to do is like, it's a one-eyed monster. Like start going into that, but like it's ridiculous. Like there's stuff because you can see symbolism everywhere you watch, even old ass movies like that. What was that one? The famous one. I always forget the name, but it's like sure as hell it's there. So like the Alfred Hitchcock film, he's gonna kiss the girl. You know it's gonna happen, but instead of showing you what happens, the fucking train goes through the tunnel.
Oh,
and it cuts. That's the end of the movie, right?
Yeah.
So
was like, that wasn't North by Northwest, was it?
It might be. I don't remember. But I mean, that's just a thing. So like, that's clearly tongue in cheek. Like it wasn't necessary, but
it was smart. That's the problem.
Right. But you put a literal fucking dickheads and tell you that's like your new Klingons.
It's just, I can't with these people. Yeah, it's messed up. I was calling them dongons because that's what it looks like, is a giant dong. I don't know. It's ridiculous. Sense. Ridiculous. Get it? Dun.
Haha. Yeah. Sorry. And well, the fun thing is, like, I bet you, like a crazy lesbian is the one who thought that was funny. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, you know what? Here's the design.
See, men are all aggressive, so we're gonna make the aggressive Klingons just just penises. They're just going to be
Yeah, no,
walking
and
around
that's
penises.
the other thing is like the people that don't love these stories and these franchises, they want to push that message all the time. I don't remember what the
Yeah.
hell I watched. That little clip out of the Ant-Man that I wasn't even gonna watch anyway, but it was that thing where he's like, he's like, you can be anything, and he's
Yeah.
like, well, she's like, just don't be a dick, and he's
Yeah.
like,
Don't
I'm
be a dick.
already a dick, and then she's like, it's never too late to not be a dick, and then she
Yeah.
rides off. I was
I
like, there's
couldn't believe that was 2023 Marvel writing. How in the hell did we get here?
because it's the inclusion initiative, which I hate. I absolutely hate the inclusion initiative.
Hey, Hex
Uh,
Island.
yeah, but what happens with that is, oh yeah, hell hex. What happens with that inclusion initiative is it's people that never ever cared about this. They're the ones that are getting hired now because they're being hired based on an it. So you
Mm-hmm.
fit it. You are it.
Yeah.
Like whatever
Yeah.
that check in the boxes that they're looking for, that's what they're doing. But you know what they forgot? Creative. So
Mm-hmm.
none of them are creative. None of them ever wanted to really work in this space, but they see a good paycheck because like all those people make
Jason.
decent paychecks. Like even the low paying people make more money than they would have at Walmart.
Yeah.
So it's just like you have that, but then you have like real creative people that have been drawing or writing or in this field. Like those are the ones that are told need not apply.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah,
and so
that's
it
true.
feels no different than like when I was a kid, used to open up the newspaper. I don't know if anybody does it anymore, but used to open up the newspaper and you see classified section. In classified, there was always like the job listing for the titty bar, and it was
Yeah.
always like
Yeah, they need the one ugly one.
all girls welcome, no experience necessary. Like I feel that's the new titty bar is Marvel and DC.
That's
Everyone's
Hollywood.
welcome, no
That's not just
experience
Marvel and
necessary.
DC.
On the job training. It's just that's
Speaking of on the job training.
Oh yeah, sure.
Well, no, I was just going to tell you more about Pensa-Conned because
Okay.
it just blew my mind how crappy this convention was run. Well, and I don't think it was really the fault of the people that volunteered to try to help out, but oh my God, it was obvious they had no direction.
Yeah.
So we had to park like, a couple blocks away. That wasn't, their fault. That was my fault because I'm thinking back to the old MegaCon days where they had this huge convention center. And but anyway, so we get up there and I got my tickets ahead of time, printed up. You still have to go to will call, but they don't tell you that. There's nobody there saying that if you have a printed up paper, with your voucher on it, you need to go to will call to get your, wristband or your lanyard. And so we're waiting in the wrong line and somebody's like, oh no, you can't be here. You have to be over there. And so we have to go back to the other line. And then they're like, no, you gotta go back here. But there was this really nice dude named Raphael that was like, hey, I'm sorry about that. You come in, I'll let you go to the front of the line. You can get in. So let me explain a little bit about Pensacola. It's trying, but there's some adjustment here. I'm trying to get used to this town. But they have an old ass beat up like convention. Well, it's like a sports arena center that they use for this convention. And it's like completely the wrong setup. And they have you go up, the ramps and everything. You get inside and no one could move around. They're not directing anybody except to go through this one door. So there's this one set of stairs where you can go down on the stadium floor. And that's where all the vendors are. So we're all like just stuck and they're like, keep moving, keep moving. I'm like, where's the fire marshal for one? If somebody were an ass and just started yelling fire, we would have all been trampled and we would have all died. But so we get down there and you can't even stop to look at the booth. I swear to God, 80s. It wasn't even wide enough for two people to stand side by side, the walkway to look at all the vendor tables. And so people are just like crunched up, like, ass to what's that saying? Ass
Nut to butt.
Or yeah, whatever it is. I wouldn't know about that, but
it was a Navy saying, so it was like, and the girls say it too. So
it sounds accurate. That's essentially what it was. I was probably
because like the only other thing when you're saying
harassed.
ass, I'm like ass to mouth. That's
Yeah,
a weird place you were in.
That's
you were
not,
in a weird place.
No, I'm not
jealous.
talking about the human centipede here.
Yeah,
well, it should have been the human centipede, but so we're down there. I couldn't stop to look at anything. I'm getting claustrophobic. I go to try to stream because I'm finally in there, right? And I guess because it's all like the metal stadium, I'm not getting any signal through. So I'm like,
Yeah.
screw this. I want to get out of here. This is hell. It's the BO factor was like above 10.
Yeah. What do you expect? It's nerds. They don't shower.
I know, but I was hoping I'd have room and that they'd have air conditioning that would at least circulate this stuff. But oh my
No,
God.
not that.
And then I get to
Yeah.
decide, to see the people. It's not in the other conventions. Have you been to any like comic type conventions or anything like that?
No, I said, because believe it or not, I'm not a nerd.
Damn you. Well,
no, I've never had any urge to go. The only conventions in my entire life I've ever been to is a tattoo convention and a gun convention. So,
oh, that's cool. I
that's
would
it.
do a gun convention for
Yeah,
sure.
I was like, they have them up here all the time in Norfolk. So,
Mhm.
if you ever up this way, which is not super far, they do, the convention center is not too far from here. They do comic conventions. I know that because
Yeah.
Phoenix, the dude that does the metal cards and the metal
Yeah.
printing, he travels all over the place. He's been up here a couple times. So,
They have in WonderCon in DC. I've been to that one. And even
okay.
that was
Yeah, but in DC they're not going to do gun conventions. I'm just saying.
well, yeah.
I'm just saying, if you're ever up this way, it's not far. Gun conventions, and
It's a
it's
very
cool gun conventions where you can buy guns here. Ha 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 ha. So anyway, yeah. No, so it's like, that's for me, the convention thing, like, it's just not my scene. It never has been. And I was even dragged to those things. I was like, I wasn't really dragged to the gun convention,
Rob.
but as am I, Rob. Hail, Rob. No, as far as like those kind of conventions, like I think like 13-year-old me would have really been into it, but not now. And like, I've never had any urge to go. I do like comic books. I like this type of stuff, but that's just one level of nerd I'm just not willing to do. But as you see my room, like, I do collect and I do like that stuff. But I was like, if there was an option where I was like, oh, I knew that I was going to get like things that I've been looking for my collection, yeah, I'd totally be in. But like, everything I understand from it now, especially with those like cosplay e-thoughts and everything like being overpriced and like that. And I've never really been a signature collector till now. So I've had Carrie Fisher's autograph for a long time.
Oh wow.
And in the slave bikini.
Ooh la la.
I've had that for a long time. I just got Tim Curry's autograph on the Legend poster.
Damn.
I've got some. I do have some others. I just got Linda Blair's. I got a little print from Exorcist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's right. You're subscribed to the or
yes.
Are you still
And I don't know where it is right now. I don't know where it is right now, but I did have everything set. I thought it was like right here. Maybe it is. Maybe it is right here, because I meant to show it, and then like we ended the show one day, and then and so I showed everybody in the back room, and then forgot.
Oh,
let's see.
Yeah, you got some cool stuff that one time, like a boxing glove and everything.
The Mike Tyson stuff. Yeah, that's pretty dope. I do love my Mike Tyson. I've got the boxing glove and the NES Punch Out Mike Tyson there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the one. And I got the band box, the subscription band box.
Yeah, the band boxes. That's what I was trying to remember.
Yeah, so they do awesome stuff. And like, sometimes you're just like, whatever, man. But if you just stick with it, you'll get something you like. And then I always like, if I don't like it, I'm either planning in the pile for the giveaways, because we're doing a giveaway at 500 subs, and we'll do a big giveaway at 1,000 subs. But then if I don't really like it and I don't give a shit, I'll put it on eBay. But this is twice now where I've gotten the rare item. So every month they send you this little card, and it tells you always get like a fan art print, and sometimes it's signed and sometimes it's not, but they're always limited. And then you always get an actual like celebrity autograph, and then there's like a couple versions. So like in here just shows you, so like here the fan art print, Freddy Krueger, the one with the little red dot, that's the rare one. I got the regular one today, but the rare one only has 150 of them. Then here was the thing I could have got. So it was Linda Blair, a couple different prints, or a Funko Pop. I'm glad I didn't get the Funko Pop, but I did get the rare. And there's only 99 of these.
Oh, wow.
So Linda Blair. I was like, that's not the best picture of Linda Blair. However,
But
There's only
that's how
99 of
people
these.
remember her, right?
That is
So
how everyone remembers her. Yes. So that, and she did some weird like women's prison movie. It was kind of like sexy and stuff. Not a lot of people remember that, but they remember this. But yeah, 99 of these exist. And so her autograph, I don't know what hers goes for, but I know usually when I check, usually in the 70 to probably closer to the $100 range for a simple autograph, depending on where the convention is, where they're doing. But this whole box is $35 a month. And
wow.
sometimes you get cool stuff, sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
A couple months back, I got Pugsley from the Addams Family from the 90s, and but in that same picture was also Christopher Lloyd and Christina Ricci. So now if they are doing conventions where they do the send-ins, I can now send that and try to get their autographs on that same page and get all three.
That's cool that they do that for people who can't make it to the conventions or maybe don't want to go because, they don't like that kind of
Well,
crowded
they weren't
craziness.
doing that. This is more of a new thing. And I know GalaxyCon's really, really big on that because of COVID.
Yeah.
And that's how I got Tim Curry's autograph, because he had a stroke, which a lot of people don't know. He had a stroke. He's stuck in a wheelchair now. It sucks. It really sucks. But then he does, like, you can actually talk to him for a minute. You can spend a couple $100, talk to him for a minute. And the people post that online, and then he does most of the talking because people just don't know what to say. And it's just like,
how's his, and I'm not trying to be funny or anything. How's his speech? Was it affected by the stroke?
oh, of course it was, but he does his best. And like
Aw.
like I said, like when he does these little videos, like when he talks to these people, he's like pulling teeth. Like he's the one who's like asking the questions and shit. But I was like, there's also one interaction too. Like people are like, hey, this is, love and adoration to this man. So like it's got to boost his spirits at some point. But at the other point, like this is also how he makes his living now, is he does
I
autographs.
have mad respect for actors that, seem genuinely appreciative of the fans, because I think so many actors are just so out of touch.
Oh, big time. But you find it more with your older actors.
Yeah.
And there's that, because like you also have now, there's so much big money in acting, and that just a lot of times it seems like it's handed to them, where back then, especially with this push where everything's got to be fair, which is bullshit.
Oh my God.
Back then, like actors had to be an actor. This was their craft. It's what they loved. And like a lot of times, most of them would go back to acting school. Even if they'd done a movie or TV show or whatever, they would go to acting school to get better. Like look at The Rock. Like when he first started acting, like he's still not great, but he's definitely a hell of a lot better actor than he was when he first started movies.
Yeah.
Like it was just,
although I did like Walking Tall, his, one of his first ones, and The Rundown kind of had its moments, but he still just kind of brings his own charisma to.
He does naturally, but even when he was like really bad acting and just like it was horrible, it was still fun. It was still fun at that point. But he has definitely gotten better. But then you look at like there's so many other actors that just don't. They don't even fucking try. And I always bring up Kristen Stewart because I can't stand her. And I was like, I don't understand how she keeps getting money other than her feminine wiles.
But she doesn't even really have feminine wiles, you know what I mean? I know
she's
of like
boring and bland, and she has that face.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? She's just like, okay, I'm gonna suck your dick now.
Oh my
Like,
God.
I can't imagine,
like
right?
the speak and spell kind of thing.
Kind of like
or
that.
Helen
She's
Keller.
boring. She's boring and emotionless and fate. So like she gets these roles, and you're just like, fuck, why?
She did play Diana, which it seemed like she did pretty well in playing Diana, Princess Diana.
Yeah, because
But
she was like boring and plain too.
That's what I was gonna say. Like Diana was so kind of like proper and just non-emotional that I think that was the perfect role for
it. Probably was, because like when you
Stewart.
really look at it, right? So like the joke all the time is, like they're like, is he gay or is he British, right? That's the joke. And like it's always like Anthony Daniels comes to go, like, you're like, oh, that gay robot, and they're like, no, he's not gay, he's British. Like that's the joke. It's been that way for a long time. So when you come across with like almost like you have a stick up your ass, like very easily, yes, I could see her in that role. But all the other roles that she does, it's just like, oh my God, why waste my time? Don't waste my time. You look at like old movies, and I appreciate those old movies, but Fred Astaire could sing, dance, and act.
You had to be the total package.
It is the total package, but it's also the comedic timing, facial expressions. So like as you're talking and your everything shifts. You know, it would in a natural conversation, but like modern actors today, not really so much. And now that they're pumping out more blockbusters,
Do you think that's because, sorry, I don't mean to
you're
jump in, but
fine. I
I
would have
just
talked
had
for
this
30
thought.
minutes.
Do you think a lot of that, the reason that the younger actors can't really convey emotion is because they're so narcissistic, they have a complete lack of empathy.
Mhm.
They don't know how to relate to another
Well,
person.
yeah,
So
I think the modern society has literally produced a level of narcissism, even like regular kids that aren't
yeah,
celebrities. Because you look at like the TikTok celebrities and these like
right.
influencers and stuff. These people walk around with airs about them that the world owes them, and then all the knowledge that's actually lost. And then you
Yeah.
have this idea of like e-thoughts and simps. Like I'm watching this thing now because I'm working on this project about Playboy. And I'm watching this stuff now, and they're like really trashing. Now that he's passed away, they're really,
Oh,
really
they are.
trashing. A lot of this like dirt and shit's coming out. Maybe it's real, maybe it's not. But it seems like a lot of people are getting a payday, the ones that are willing to talk trash.
Yeah.
Yet at the same time, they're like, screw Playboy. That was really bad to women and demeaning women, but they're promoting 18, 19-year-old girls to do OnlyFans. So
Yeah.
like it's that you're telling me one thing, but then you're telling me another thing. Like I'm getting mixed signals here. What is the
Right.
problem? And then of course the problem is men. But then they've also there's been a lot of situations with that OnlyFans where people have figured out how to do legal prostitution by
Mhm.
still have a pimp getting a whole bunch of women to sign up for this and then
I
still
hope they're
getting all
paying
the
their
money.
taxes.
Yeah, and then obviously taxes. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
whole thing. So it's just like I get it. But like when you go, what's the issue? I think the real issue is I think it's just this modern society. I
Mhm.
think it's between the phones and the way media and everything is pumped into you that you have this insatiable need for new content more and
Yeah.
more and more. And so then when the people that do get put up on these pedestals, they feel the world owes them. I was like, dude, you walk around with a shirt off. And
Yeah.
people fawn all over you and throw money. You don't do shit. You don't do shit
Mm.
for society. I was like, literally, if your tire popped, you would not know how to change it. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
Hex Allen says 80s made consumer is doing a Playboy book. Forgive me if I haven't been keeping up. So I think you kind of piqued his
No,
interest.
I was like, yeah, X Allen's the number one customer.
Woohoo!
Yeah, centerfold number one right here.
The full, yeah, double page
Yeah,
spread.
no, it would be a double page spread. Trust me, trust me. You got to get all of this in the whole magazine.
All of
Yeah,
that.
it'd be the trifold paper there.
Yeah.
But
You know,
no, I'm not doing a book or anything like that. What I'm doing is just research on stuff just to be able to talk about it. So like when I talk about stuff, a lot of people talk on things that they don't know about, right? And
mm,
everybody can have their own opinion, but when I talk about stuff, I generally do a lot of research before I start talking about it. And the reason is, and I was like, I'm not perfect. I've definitely made mistakes, and I forget names, I forget things all the time. There's been times
that's
where people have
human.
corrected me, and that's totally fine. But like if I'm going to talk on a subject, especially something I believe in, I want to know the facts. But then here's
Yeah.
the issue with the facts. A lot of the facts are skewed. And so like I learned when I was probably in second grade about critical thinking. So you take the facts and you form your own opinion. And that's how you can always have two sides to the same coin because your
Right.
opinions are going to differ than mine always.
Well,
So
there's that thing they say that attorney or judges are supposed to use. You
mm,
have, the prosecution's case, you have
mm,
the defense, and then you have somewhere in the middle is going to be some approximation of truth. So you have to kind of listen to each side and based on what each side presents, then you try to come up with what most likely is the facts around the case. So
oh, for sure.
I try to do that, and I'm not always successful, but I'm only
Yeah.
human.
No, and it happens. That's the thing. So yeah, I'm not making a Playboy book,
Mhm.
but it's just like if I'd like to talk about it, I'd like to have as
Yeah.
much information as possible. And then here's the thing: is like they give you the facts, right? And that's usually where it doesn't trip me up, but it trips other people up. Where
Right.
when I'm trying to have a conversation, they're like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! You believe this? Well, these
Mhm.
are the facts, buddy." Yeah, I said you can take those facts and you can form your own opinion on them
Right.
because, like, they're skewed. They're not 100% because you take these facts and then you can find varying facts somewhere else on the same subject, coming from the same people, coming from the
Yeah.
same groups of people, even the people that worked in the situations that are involved like heavily. You have different sides, but only the brand. And my father-in-law said it best. He said, I watch Fox News. And I said, that's dumb, don't watch the news. He said, no, I watch Fox News because that's my brand of truth. And
Well, at least he's honest about
he was
it.
very honest about it, but like that's the reality. So like
Yeah.
they obviously put out a bunch of shit. CNN, all these other places put out a bunch of shit, and they're maybe some. I mean, obviously now it's a lot of propaganda bullshit, but you can look
On
like
both sides. Yeah.
30 years ago. I do remember the 80s. I remember growing up and watching the news and doing the channel. Like it seemed like it was a little more honest, but you could form your opinion based on your belief system.
I think as an adult, if I were to go back and look at some of the news reporting from the 80s when I was growing up, I think I would probably see a little bit more of the bias.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it was as bad as today. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think today it's just, they're all both sides, Fox News or the liberal media. I think they're both trying to just get us all herded in one direction and thinking the same way.
Of course, but that goes back from the beginning. Like politicians have been bought and paid for
Oh yeah,
100 years now. The media is the same. It's all corrupt. It's all nonsense. When you look at who owns them, it's the same small group of people that own everything. So you can't go through life going, there's no agenda. You can just turn a blind eye to it and just do your business, and that's fine. But just to understand that they're pumping that stuff out, that's because they want to. But you look at 30 years ago, 40 years ago, it wasn't so consolidated.
Yeah.
Different people, different owners, which allowed for more freedom of thought and more honesty.
You had those smaller news networks too, the news stations.
For sure. But I was like,
and real investigative reporting, not just news readers.
Did you see that bullshit that somebody did on YouTube where they took like over the nation, like all these local news stations all over the nation, and they clipped it all together, and they were all saying the exact word for word, exact same
uncanny words like I'm trying to think of like the weird one I heard where it was so obvious, like people wouldn't use this word, but every
reporter used the exact same sentence, and it was like an odd word. You're like, that's weird. Yeah, no, and it's like it's crazy because the internet was, I tell people all the time, like the internet was a DARPA program, which DARPA is a military government weapons program. So it literally, the internet is a weapons program product that they gave to us. Here you go. No, it was invented to come at us. Like that's what it was. But the reality is it backfired. It allowed us to come together, and it allowed us to share thoughts and ideas. And then it allowed us to also remember. And that was the thing. My whole life, I've like remembered like odd shit like that, where 2 weeks later, like people are like, they moved on to the next popular thing to be angry about. And they're like, rabble, 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 until they spit them up on something else. But I'm like, what about that thing from way back when? And they're like, no.
Oh, that was yesterday's news.
But like, now the internet has that memory hole where you can just like usually call it up unless they delete that shit. But yeah, it's usually available, which is a great thing.
Hey,
so
Mo.
More people see it. Hello, Mo. Hail, brother. Hail.
Jason.
And Jason, 80s looks even worse in this layout. Yes. Yes. I'm suffering from a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of everything. Yeah.
So now that we got a few more eyes, I guess you want to talk about Cocaine Bear.
Hey, it's your show, brother. You do whatever you want. I'm here for the ride.
Yes. I don't know if there's going to be any spoilers here, but just in case there could be spoilers, I mean, I'm not going to tell you, start to finish everything that happens, but I'm going to give my opinion. So if you're the type of person who doesn't want any spoilers, then come back some other time after you've seen the movie.
Yeah.
That being said, okay, you've been warned. There you go.
I already said all my piece before the show started.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to talk about now. Yeah, but I thought we were live.
What's your thought? Yeah.
I thought we were live. So
yeah, no, I wouldn't do that to you.
No, you go. You because I'm tired. I gotta get like riled up again. Because
I'll get you riled up. Oh, first though, I know
blew my load
you
before
had
the
a
show started.
special screening of the movie, but I will tell you, going back to the whole Hollywood, and they have to check certain boxes, and everything seems to be they have to have the diversity quota checked. So nothing's based on meritocracy anymore. So you get people that probably should never be writers in Hollywood and directors, writing and directing and acting and all that. But oh my God, the trailers that played before the movie, it's all like rehashes of things, like reimagining or another sequel. They're doing, well, obviously Fast and the Furious 10. They didn't even bother to show any clips or anything from the movie. They just showed, like, they played this music, and then they had a black background, and they showed the actor next to a car. So it was like, here's Vin Diesel next to a car. Here's that Asian guy next to a car. Here's Ludacris next to a car.
I get it. But I was like, Fast and Furious 10, if you don't know what the fuck you're getting into, I was like, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but normally that's what you get from these movies. Right. They show lazy. Usually the best parts. And then the other thing too was, I don't know if you ever grew up watching the old Evil Dead, the Sam Raimi Evil Dead movies. It's kind of like a cult classic thing. Like, they made the first one, they kind of ran out of money. Raimi hated it, so he made the second one, and it didn't have quite the serious tone as the first one. And again, they didn't have the budget for it, but it was funny, and it was campy, and people kind of loved that aspect about it. But then they have this trailer. One, they're rebooting it with a female. I can understand Bruce Campbell's old, so maybe not the ideal person for it. But they have this woman. She's a mother, and everything. There's all this dark, kind of like demonic, satanic imagery in it. Whereas, okay, like the
Evil Dead.
No, listen, the Necronomicon, it was funny before.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like, I feel like I'm at Bohemian Grove or something when I'm watching.
The first one, it was funny, but like the first one also was like creepy as fuck.
It was serious. Yeah. The woman ends up getting raped by a tree or something like that.
It's like, that's hilarious, guys.
Well, okay. So yeah, the idea of tree rape, that's not exactly.
Think about that, Abra. Tree rape. You're like, it was hilarious.
But people pretty much kind of disregard the first one. They consider the second one really
Army
the first.
Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness.
Great. But Evil Dead, I get it. I understand your point, but it is definitely more of a serious tone, but it does have that campy stuff. But it's fucking great, man. At the time when it came out, we didn't see shit like that. It was great. And it was also fun that they did it like while they were like college students or some shit.
Yeah. I love this stuff too. Like they run out of fake blood, so they just take food coloring and color water, and that's supposed to be spraying the blood, just this red colored water. But let me see, Rob was saying Evil Dead 2 was canon for me. Yeah. Oh no, Jason, she was barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah, she was.
Well, yeah,
we got her.
But yeah, it was fun. But this seems so dark and awful. Everything was just about it was just ugh. But anyway, so we get to Cocaine Bear.
Okay.
All right. So the opening a little bit was kind of amusing. The guy chucking the duffel bags of cocaine out. You could tell obviously he was high on some of his own product, because he's like, "Papa, cha, yeah, chucking the stuff out the plane and everything."
Yeah, I thought they were trying to like recapture Guardians of the Galaxy opening, like have it like fun like that.
Yeah, maybe it was kind of amusing. You're like, oh yeah, this guy, he's totally wired for sound. And then, of course, when he goes to put on the parachute and jump out of the plane, whacks his head, dies, and then is just splat on the ground.
Yeah,
and that part was kind of funny. I was like, okay,
it was great. And then they cut right into the real footage because it really happened in real life.
Yes, and Tom Brokaw.
They cut the real footage, so then it takes the funny scene and it ruins it.
And then they try to do something, I guess. I don't know if they thought this would be interesting or what, but they, from the different walks of life, they're bringing all these kind of separate groups of people together. you
Yeah.
know, in
Oh,
in the
100%.
in the forest.
They
And
always do it.
um
Inclusion.
yes, yes, you have to have that. And the police officer they had, what was that dude's name?
I don't
Isaiah
hate that
Whitlock.
dude. He's been around. He's been around for a little
Yeah, I've
while.
seen
The
him in
older
a lot
guy.
of stuff. Let me see
Yeah.
what he's been in, because I know he's famous for a lot of things.
He's been a bunch of
Uh,
things. I'm one. See, that didn't even bother me, right? What it bothered me for me after that opening scene in there, it got boring. The movie was boring to me. I was so disappointed. Nothing about it was fun. They didn't keep up the fun, and when they tried to be funny, they
yeah.
went right to serious, and it was just shit, and it
Yes.
was boring, and it sucked. And it was like, are you kidding me? And they would take a missed opportunity for a funny scene and then ruin it with nonsense or a
Mhm.
stupid, not really a joke, but like a here you go, here's the punchline. Men are
Or
bad dad,
toilet
you're a
or
bad dad.
vulgar.
Remember
Toilet
she said that
vulgar
at the end? Like that was so it was just like right in there. Like it was supposed to be played for laughs as the
Yeah.
little girl's yelling at the guy saying he's a bad dad. One, that's Ray Liotta. Two, this is his last movie. Three, he had a
Yeah.
crappy role. He could have been any other one of the other roles. And I think that the woman Ranger would
Mhm.
have probably been a better bad guy because she's a super serious actor. Like I've never seen her really do too much comedy, and so I think she would have been the better bad guy, the better like the Ma Barker trying to get the cocaine back, and
I
then
could
Ray
see
Liotta
that.
being the Ranger because he actually has comedic timing. Because when you look at all her jokes, they fell flat. They were boring and shitty, and like even her reactions to stuff, it was
It
just
would have
weird.
been, I think that would have been funnier too, because people would be expecting Ray Liotta to be the drug guy and,
A hundred
the
percent. Yeah.
mobster. And if he were the ranger or the park, yeah, the park ranger,
Right.
and she could have been kind of like Goonies, the mom,
Yeah.
from
Ma
Goonies.
Barker. 100%.
Yeah.
It would have been
Um,
so much better. And then I was telling you earlier when the stream before we started the stream, if they had taken like 3 to 4 groups of people that were for some reason dire straits, trying
yes.
to get mom off of being able always at work, because like the one kid, she ran to the forest to do a thing because the mom had to go to work and she was supposed
Mhm.
to spend the day with her. So like there's that whole aspect. So you still have the little kids trying to grab that cocaine to try to help mom, not work so much. You have all the
Yeah.
drug dealers trying to get the cocaine. You got some like random teenagers that heard about the cocaine, and everybody's trying to get this shit. But then the bear fucking wants the
Right.
cocaine. So as they're
He's
getting
like
it,
the common denominator. He just
a
keeps coming
hundred
in and
percent. And
yeah,
so yeah, you could have played it up as a horror comedy, 100%. All 4 of the things is
pretty much
cocaine
crazy
bore.
mad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. It was fucking boring. I'm telling you, I'm not going to say I hated it, but I was uninterested. I was
Mhm.
very uninterested. It did not like because I watch a lot of bad movies, and there are bad movies I enjoy, but this doesn't even fall into cult classic thing. Like if people walk out of here going, "Yeah, it's a pretty solid movie," stay away from that fucker because he's probably going to take your candy.
Well,
Yeah,
well, he's probably suffering from the same thing that I think most people are. We're just so hungry for like decent content that now mediocre stuff just seems so much better than it
right. And I
should.
complain about that too, but like I was all for whatever. I was like, there's
Mhm.
not a lot of messaging in here. There's symbolism. Like they literally made
Yes.
the little white gay guy. Like if you
Yeah.
didn't think he was gay before, when he's like laying on his side like a Playboy pinup, and for
Mm.
like ever, like he was in that position for the longest time. While he's supposed to be afraid for his life, he's just laying out there like. It's like, come get me, boy. Like it was just that was what he was saying. I was like, Jesus, I see the symbolism, but I'll ignore it. It's fine. But at the very end, when she's trying to make that joke of "you're a bad dad," it's just like slamming home the message that's always there that men are
Yeah.
bad, men are shit,
Well,
and
yeah, almost all of the males had their masculinity kind of
taken away,
taken
100%.
away. Yeah.
So
The
Han Solo was
yeah,
kind of a
the
pussy.
I keep forgetting his name. What's his name again? Hold on.
Aaron Alkenreich, or
Yeah, it's like hard to say. Alden Ehrenreich. Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like I'm doing some
Han
sort of
Solo. So Han
yeah.
Solo is kind of a pussy. The 3 white gang members that were in the
They
rain,
were
that were in the
all
woods just stabbing people, which was
mhm,
that was also dumb. They were
mhm.
all gay as fuck. Like they were if
Seriously.
if they came out of the bathroom wiping off their mouths, I would have been more okay with like, because that's what they
been
were.
more accurate.
Homo
Yeah.
in the forest robbing people, and how were they robbing them? They were stabbing them with a butterfly knife.
Mm-hmm.
Like fuck.
I did kind of enjoy the fight scene with the, you know, where Ice Cube's son took the
Yeah, because
skateboard.
the big masculine man whooped
Yeah.
up their asses. So then you were like, I'm flicking the bean
He
later.
was allowed to keep his masculinity, and Ray Liotta was allowed to keep his masculinity,
Yeah,
even though spoilers, even though
because he was the villain.
yeah,
The
he
villain
gets
has to keep the masculinity, or then they have that redemption arc.
yeah. But it was weird. I did note. Did you notice how they inserted some of the like classic 80s items, you know,
Oh
when
yeah,
like in the girl's bedroom, she had Garbage Pail Kid, she
Mhm.
had
yeah.
Casio watch,
The movie
fruit stripe
portrayals of the
gum.
day, like it does bring back memories, right? When I see
Yeah.
that shit, it does do the memberberry thing. But like my room now is like what a movie set, 80s room would look like,
Yeah.
80s or 90s room would look like. This is like they're like, oh, this was everybody. No, our
No.
rooms were shit. Most of us didn't have any money, so you might have a Casio watch, but you're not going to have all that other shit.
No.
Like these rooms, they jam pack them with that stuff. So I do notice it, and it's all there for me going, oh, I remember that.
Yeah. Remember. Oh, remember.
Yeah. But see, and the trick here is like all this shit, most of everything other than those CEDs up there. But I did find out the other day. So I put up my Blazing Saddles one for February, and I found out I have like 6 copies of that on VHS.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I just keep buying them, and I don't realize it because I haven't watched it in so long, because it's just something I'm not going to watch around my 6-year-old. So it's just I haven't watched it in so
Yeah.
long. I think I don't have it, so I just keep buying it every time I see it at a thrift store, apparently.
No, that's good, because when they eventually,
Yeah.
try to erase that movie from history, you will
Yeah,
have
I'm
proof
surprised they
that
haven't
it
tried to
existed.
cancel it now, because I had this joke set up like already up there. It's like,
Mhm.
and it's not. I haven't worked all the kinks out, but it was just like you want to cancel Blazing Saddles? How anti-Semitic are you? 'Cause,
Yeah, well, I think because he's still alive, but
yeah, I think once he goes, I think that'll be the thing.
give
'Cause
him
that's
a
what they did with
week.
Hugh Hefner. But yeah,
Mhm.
it was like because like I was like, oh, do you hate Mel Brooks? You
Yeah.
want to cancel that? What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
he probably still has a lot of clout in Hollywood, even though it's filled with a bunch of, brain
Well,
dead SJWs, but
well, yeah, but then you see, like they did the same thing. I care less about football. They did the same damn thing to John Madden. I was like,
yeah.
he passed away, and they were instantly saying some shit. I was just like, why? And it was again NPCs, people that don't give a
Mhm.
shit, and like people that are literally they just wait for white people to die and go, oh, look at this racist piece of shit that just fucking died. Like, blah blah. And it's just like, do you know anything? Give me some facts. Show me the receipts. And if he did, who gives a fuck? I said, they're
Yeah,
just words. You say words all the fucking time. I said,
yeah.
in
Now,
20 to 30
unless
years.
it's actions, like if he
Yeah.
legitimately hurt somebody and they have proof that he did that,
Well, that's 100% too. Yeah.
then that should be addressed.
But yeah,
But
you
yeah,
remember back in the day the phrase was sticks and stones may break my bones, but words never hurt me. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't understand why that concept is not had today. And so they're like, oh, you can't say these things. And I'm just saying, these crazy people on Twitter, if they want to hold like somebody accountable that passed away that's like in their 80s or some shit, it's shit they said back in the day, like that possibly they said. I didn't see proof when they were fucking spouting that shit off.
right.
But now, let's show your Twitter in 50 years. Let's talk about that. Are you going to be proud of your shit in 50 years? You're probably not going to make it because you're just sucking dicks and eating fucking corn syrup all day. So you're probably going to be dead, you fucking twink. Anyway,
So sad.
Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, Cocaine Bear. What did you think of the CG on the bear? I thought in a few
It was
spots,
wonky.
yeah, I thought
had
it
a
looked
bootleg
okay in some
copy.
spots, but in other spots it was like
Yeah.
kind of.
I had a bootleg copy, so it already had that like grain filter through it. But then
You saw a special screening, 80s.
I'm from upstate New York. Like we used to get it all. I just can't do it. I was like special screening my ass. Anyway, the Cocaine Bear, he looked funny. He definitely looked funny in so many places. I hate modern CGI. They should have used a goddamn bear. I said that most of the 80s movies, they had that brown grizzly bear. He was like in all the movies. He was like the famous bear that did everything. And so like he was also in Great Outdoors, which is a great movie, by the way. That right there is so much better than the shit. And obviously I get that they're not going to coke up a real bear and let them fucking attack people.
Right. And there's certain
They've had
movements that a bear
animatronics for
could
that
do.
shit for the longest time. You know, use a real bear when you can, but let's use a thing. I don't know if they even used a real bear. Probably not. And every single time he was like doing the close-ups, I hated him. Hey, awesome one. Hail.
Bart the bear, was that his name, Jason?
Bart the bear. Yeah, the brown grizzly. I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
I don't know. It's been a while since I looked it up, but yeah, it was like one brown grizzly. They used him for everything, and there's that. But I was like, I know all these like animal rights groups and all this shit are like, it's not fair. It's the same thing as I just hear it as Peter Dinklage saying none of the other fucking midgets can get work because
that just
midget.
Like way to be an advocate.
Yeah.
You just lost them all work.
100%. And so it's some nonsense. He just wants to be king midget. So when they think of midget, they're like, oh, we got to get Peter Dinklage on this.
I lost all respect for him.
Yeah. I never had respect for him.
I liked his
he's a good actor. I will give you that, but he's a piece of shit.
Yeah. There was a trailer for this one act or stand-up comedian. This is how creatively bankrupt Hollywood is. There's the stand-up comedian, I can't remember his name, but he did this joke about how he's the machine. Like he did this foreign exchange trip over to Russia, and he only knew how to say the machine in the Russian language. So something happened. He was stealing from somebody on a train, and they asked what his name was, and he said the machine. And somehow he allegedly got hooked up with the Russian mafia or something like that. Anyway, this is this comedian's joke. They took that stand-up bit and made a whole freaking movie out of it. I was just like, you have to be freaking kidding me. And they have Mark Hamill in it. I was like, that's another guy I lost all respect for. He's supposed to be playing that stand-up actor's dad in the movie. And it's just, just so bad.
Here's another thing. You bring up a great point. You said, you've lost all respect for Mark Hamill. Well, Mark Hamill is the only thing he ever did good was, he was Luke Skywalker. That was it.
Yeah.
And then he got old.
I liked him when he voiced the Joker, and he did that Guyver movie, which was.
I love that movie. I was like I can't get through the second one. I keep trying to watch it.
The second one.
First one, I was like, I loved it. When I was a kid, I watched it. I thought it was fucking fun. It was just great kung fu monster weird shit, and Mark Hamill very weird, with a weird porn mustache. So no, with that though, like back then, most of these guys have never fucking changed. They were always like this. We didn't get to hear their thoughts. We didn't get to hear.
That is a very good point.
Have that interaction with them. Like now, technically, I mean, obviously, like you're probably not following. He's probably not following you, so you can't DM Mark Hamill. But like most of these celebrities, like you could possibly fucking actually send them a text message, or interact with them, or tweet them on Twitter, and they can fucking argue with you. Like that was not a thing, 20 years ago. So like just where we are now, it changes that. So it's like these people always fucking thought like this. These people were always like this, like the world that they live in, because again, even if they have some kind of inkling of like SJW nonsense or whatever, you put them in that world where like they're throwing a boatload of cash and every single person around them, kisses their feet and tells them how great they are. Like there aren't people in their real life that criticize them. So like, yeah, they're gonna, and to maintain that status, they're going to follow whatever they're told to say. I've seen so many celebrities actually say stuff and then change their tune. A little while later, like, reflecting on what I said, I was wrong. No, motherfucker, they threatened to take all your money away.
Where he had to defend because he liked J.K.
Right,
Rowling's tweet.
100%. And I was like, but he's not the only one that's ever done this. But like that's the thing. Like you threatened to take your money away, you threatened to not work, and I just remembered that. And it always stuck with me because my grandmother used to say this phrase, and I was like, I never understood it because we never knew celebrities. But she used to say, "There's nothing sadder than an out of work actor." And I was like, that makes no sense to me because fuck them. They don't affect me. So like, why would that be sad? I was like,
Yeah, going around that Pensa-Conned, seeing those sad actor has-beens like trying to get $40 for a
okay,
signature.
I can see that, but my grandmother never did that shit, and she was
Well,
talking like she was saying this like almost 40 years ago. So,
yeah.
so like that whole thing is a different kind of thought process, and so you're just
Mhm.
like, and we lived in kind of like a city, so like I saw homeless people, I saw prostitutes, I saw some sad shit, I saw kids, in the winter without like shoes,
Oh
so just
God.
like. Come on, like there's some sadder shit. And she's like, no, there's nothing sadder than an out of work actor. No, that's fucking gay. And so like it's always stuck with me is like celebrities they're just there they do a fucking job. I said,
Mhm.
are you gonna sit there,
Yeah.
Plumber Bob, you're gonna fucking put him on a pedestal? Without Plumber Bob, you'd have shit all over your house. Thank you, Plumber Bob. Put him on a pedestal.
Yeah,
He
that's true. You
actually
would
did
have
something.
shit
This
all over
this
your house.
actor who's got their head up their ass hasn't done shit for you. They
They're
might have
paid
made
to
you laugh
lie
in a
for a
movie.
living, lie and pretend.
Yeah, that's it. They pretend and they lie. That's all they do. And so that's fine. But when they pretend that that's not what they do, it irritates the shit out of me.
This is a good point. Awesome One says, "Death of Hollywood spread the disease around the world, hence all the attack on the kids nationwide."
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
they're all in Citizen Ronan. He has another one here. Let's see, I lost it. Oh yeah, actors have no other skills. Yeah, they're con men. They're paid to be con men.
Yeah. No, and that was the one thing that really irritated me with the whole movement of like canceling certain actors and like making a big deal about like the voice actors not having the right skin color to do the voice acting. I was like, they're all fucking liars. I was like, do
Yeah.
you think I believe that, Leonardo DiCaprio was fucking Romeo? Do you think I
Oh God.
believe, that Harrison Ford really fucking, found the Holy Grail? Like, come on, get over yourself.
Oh my
What was Mo
God.
saying? What was Mo
Oh
saying?
yeah, I'm sorry, it just cracked me up here. Mo said, "My grandmother used to say this," and talking about you when you were getting ready to say what your grandmother said, and then he's like, "That brief look of abject horror on Abra's face, thinking her channel would soon be insta deleted by what next left 80s mouth."
Yeah, if we were on my show, I'd tell you what my great grandmother used to say.
Oh God, yeah,
Because she used to look around and like in the house, right? In the house. Like, so there's only like 3 white people in the house, and she would go, and then
yeah,
she would,
and, like no grandma.
yeah. She would speak about the Japanese because she
Oh
was
no.
almost 100 years old at the time.
Mhm.
So like,
Well, you get
yeah.
to 100 or almost 100. Well, God bless you. I think you have
Yeah,
the
but I
right
always
to
thought it was
say
great because she would
anything.
she would cup her mouth and like look
Yeah.
around, and you're like, "What do you think? Do you think they just came in,
Yeah.
fucking just
The
showed up?"
kangaroo's just gonna come after her or
Yeah.
something.
Oh yeah,
Oh
no, it's
man.
great.
Oh goodness. So any other thoughts or anything? I'm gonna
I don't. I was like, I was disappointed by it. It was one of the few
yeah.
movies because the trailer looked fun. I mean, everything about it looked fun, but that's what it felt. It fell flat. Obviously, everyone said Elizabeth Banks or whatever the fuck her
Yeah.
name is clearly was the problem. Like her cinematography sucked, the scene setup sucked. Like I doubt she's had any kind of formal training on fucking making a movie other than just being in them. And so
Yeah.
like you can see that just from how the scenes were set up. So the director was at fault for a lot of that.
It
But then
seemed
how the
like
whole thing
some
was
of
put
the
together.
some of the movie seemed like it was shot on like some like rural farm in Georgia,
Hmm.
and then they obviously filmed some of it in a park because you see the national park sign and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of the look to the film was inconsistent, I thought, in a lot of spots.
Oh, for
Um,
sure, for sure. And like, and as great as that is, like, I would have rather honestly, like, no joke, Mel Gibson direct that movie.
yeah.
Like, no fucking joke. And even leave Ray Liotta in it,
Mhm.
but like Mel Gibson direct that. Like, that would be so fucking fun. Like, and say Mel balls to the wall. It's a comedy.
I liked him in the Payback. I thought that was
That was a
really
good one.
good.
I do like Mel.
Yeah.
That's the thing, but he's a phenomenal director, and like I don't know
Yeah.
if he's actually done any formal training, but I mean he's been acting for a long time, and he also comes from not old Hollywood, but an older Hollywood where
Yeah.
you had to have that skill set or you didn't get the next movie. And so
Well,
even
he's
if you
probably
had that,
brushed elbows too with a lot of the
oh,
greats. So.
100%, yeah. Yeah, he
Well,
also had his Kanye moment. So he would make Cocaine Bear a lot better than what we got. So that was it.
He
The
would
thing.
have
My
done
thing
there.
was disappointing.
He's like, I'll show you how this bear is supposed to do it.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the other problem. Is like how much blow has fucking Elizabeth Banks probably done? I know she blows everybody, but I was like,
Yeah.
do you think she's probably hasn't done enough cocaine to understand what would happen?
She's gone from suck to blow.
And with that, we should probably end it.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good spot to end it. But anyway, thanks everyone for stopping by.
Yeah.
We had Hex
Thanks, Jeff.
Allen. We had Rob Wilson Art. We had Mo Biggs. We had Citizen Ronan. Let's see. I know there were some other people up here. Awesome one. Admiral Wackass. Thanks for stopping by. Let's see. If I missed anybody, I do apologize. But thanks for joining me, my second stream. Hopefully I'll be back again soon to talk about other great pop culture topics. And thank you, 80s, as always, for being my wingman.
All right.
Let's see what I can find to do like a little exit here.
I can flip everybody off.
Yeah, we could flip everybody off here.
Right.
How about this? Bye.
Get that fucking soap, you clean up this mess, and get your ass out that door looking for a job, you retard.
Didn't even end this.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie. Donnie, shut the fuck up. When do we play? Shut the fuck up, Donnie.